Who we got with us this morning?
So I go by my first name, which is Ebony.
Ebony, tell us a bit about yourself. How you grew up, where you grew up, all that.
I have military parents. My mom and dad were Army. My uncle Kevin was Air Force. So I was born in a different country. I don't want to really disclose what country. But I'm a different national than most, black citizens in this country. Mm-hmm. But I grew up here in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. From there. But life wasn't super easy growing up because in our community, I don't know, during my time, black was like the thing to be. And if you didn't act that way, your color, you would get picked on bad. Like even white girls had to act bright. There's nothing wrong with it. But, obviously I come from a lot of different backgrounds, obviously. I have Cherokee in my family. I have white in my family. I've got Nepalese in my family, which is like, Hindu people. So I think today all cultures should be respected, at least to a minimum. And then I'm just so smart and gifted naturally, I think just genetic-wise. I'm a huge believer, and it's kind of loud now. I'm a huge believer in Jesus Christ and God, but I'm not really Christian because I feel like Christianity is a little bit of a cult, if you don't mind me saying, because, they're just following one man, and he's just a guy, and there's just so many stigma behind that. But I do have faith in God and spirituality. I think that's what's gotten me a long way through a lot of things. I'm really young. I'm only 28. I'll be 29 this year. In November.
You got brothers and sisters?
Yep.
What's your relationship like with your brothers and sisters?
I mean, I've had a pretty normal childhood, like I said, everything normal. Normal relationships, everything. I never really... Obviously, I'm sheltered, so...
What schools did you go to?
When I did go to school here, because I lived in two different places, but when I went to school here, I went to East, Belleville East.
Did you graduate?
Yeah.
Where did life take you after you graduated?
After that, I became a mother at 17. And then, after that, I've lived a pretty much normal life, but I made the decision to be homeless because I wanted to be. I chose to be homeless because my parents, they're military vets and they have a lot of mental disabilities, and I just didn't want to put up with them no more. So I chose to live on the streets because I thought it would be easier than working and living with my parents.
Where have you worked at? What jobs have you had?
I personally haven't held very many jobs or kept them for very long. And right now, I'm just living on SSI. And right now, they're only giving me $500 a month.
How long have you been on the streets, and how's that going for you?
Like I said, I've chosen to be on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I'm transitioning off the streets because my dad just kicked out his very toxic girlfriend, which is one reason why I wouldn't stay there. She kicked her toxic ass out. And I just moved in a couple weeks ago. I've got my house key, I can show you. I got a house key. I'm not homeless anymore. Now, am I broken with money? Like I said, I'm broke without money, but I'm transitioning, like I said, I'm transitioning. This is the house key. I'm transitioning off the street, so yes, I am still broke, but I do have a roof over my head.
How old is your child?
I have a son and a daughter.
Okay.
My daughter is 11, my son is 9.
And how old
And
are
these
you?
donuts are delicious.
How old are you, Miss Ebony?
Oh, I said earlier in the video, my age, you catch it when you watch it again. But swear to God, I said my age.
So,
I haven't said my birthday almost. I didn't say my whole birthday, but...
So, what's the plan moving forward?
I'm really excited, and I'm glad you asked. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to get my exercise check, but I'm also going back to SLIC, going back to school, college, and earning my associates in early childhood education. I love kids.
When are you going to start that endeavor?
It is in the process, and the ball is rolling. like as we speak. And being born in a different country, it's very hard to get an ID. People think, oh, you just got a birth certificate. No, if you're born in a different country, you don't have a birth certificate. You have a consulate report or birth abroad. A birth abroad consulate report is not a birth certificate. So people got me effed up when they're all like, well, you can have an ID. It takes an ID to get an ID in this country, and this country can't even get my CRBA. You know what I'm saying? So, but I have family that support me and that will help me. Here in a couple weeks, I get paid. I really get an ID and shit.
What is some of the experiences that you've had on the street, like, that have kind of taught you a little bit about life, if any?
Ain't everybody your fucking friend, and your family will turn on you like a pit bull puppy. But ain't everybody your fucking friend. I learned that. And if ain't nobody in this life important, you are important. I don't care if it does sound selfish.
How do you avoid the dangers on the street?
You don't. You walk right into it. You on the street. There ain't no avoiding danger. Sorry to say. Only thing that's gonna avoid danger is my grandmama's prayers, and she dead. So.
How do you avoid the drugs that
You
are
don't.
just...
Well, you can avoid drugs. It's not that you don't. It's not a thing that you do on the streets. A lot of people on the street don't even do drugs. Believe it or not. But I personally chose to live on the streets so I could do drugs. You know, day in and day out, and not do any fucking thing else with my life.
What type of drugs are you dealing with out here on the streets?
Well, you know they got fentanyl nowadays, but I don't do fentanyl. My drug of choice, you really want to know, is crystal methamphetamine.
How did you avoid the fentanyl? Like, or
It's not
or have
avoiding
you
it.
tried it?
I tried it, yeah.
It wasn't for you.
Nope. Actually, I died from it.
They brought you back.
And it never was for me. I never wanted to do it. But for some drug users, they'll do stuff just to fucking do it. You know? I'm pretty sure even with any human being, that's how that is. You know what I'm saying?
So you were curious about it, and then once you kind of tried it, it was like, this isn't for me type stuff.
Well, yeah. Instantly, yeah. Like instantly.
Do you have any ways to be contacted? Do you have any social media? Do you have any Cash App if people want to reach out and
I do.
share resources with you? Or?
I do. But you'll have to let me see your phone so I can put my Facebook in at the end of this video.
What would you tell a young Miss Ebony, knowing what you know today, if you can go back in time and talk to her?
That these motherfuckers on the streets ain't shit and ain't worth it. Because if I hadn't been following them around this whole time and trusting these motherfuckers, I'd have been had my, self where I want to be at. But I literally followed everybody step by step. So I would told my ass, if I rewind, jump in the time machine, I'd be like, these motherfuckers is not worth your time, they don't give a fuck about you. These people that I'm trying to befriend. And honestly, you ain't all that either. You know what I'm saying? Swallow my pride a little bit and be humble. And I learned about the world a lot. Like, a lot of people will disappoint you thoroughly. They really will.
So no friends exist on the street, period.
Not on the streets, I'm not saying not on earth. There's good people out there. But when you're in that environment, you're going to find good people, duh. Naturally.
What are you teaching your kids growing up to avoid these types of situations down the line?
My kids are fine where they are. I'm not going to divulge into too much of that, but my kids are good where they are. And, once I get where I'm at, it's just a process. I'm blessed to really have this, shit set out for me the way it is and for my kids.
What advice would you give a young girl thinking about coming out on the streets and, thinking...
I wouldn't advise them nothing. I would say turn around while you still can, because there ain't no going back once you get so far. Because your family gonna quit talking to you. Your brain gonna be so far gone out, you ain't even gonna think to go back. And then thirdly, you probably got such a track record the cops looking for, you can't go back. So if you just now stepped out on the streets, I would consider going back at least. And not be like me and be like, oh, this is a life. A pirate's life is a life for me.
If there's anything you want to say in closing, Miss Ebony, anybody looking for you, worried about you, wondering if you're okay, now's the time you could say it.
No. No. I'm about to go home right now. I have faith that I'm going to be hopping out this car. Anybody can kidnap me.
Appreciate you, Miss Ebony. Thank you.
Yeah.